Hi there, it's Susan. So last night I had an experience that I figure I'm not alone in having, and so I wanted to share it with you just to see if it resonates. So I was sitting on the sofa last night watching TV, and I had this sudden feeling of, you're just not doing enough. It was a real sense of inadequacy. And what I was watching was the BBC programme about the concert that had been live streamed on Saturday, so 8 hours of pop stars from all over the world playing music at home, and it was all live streamed. And then the BBC did a TV programme last night where they were showing some of the highlights, and they were kind of showcasing the amazing frontline workers that are busy doing their stuff right now, with a big emphasis on the NHS. And I found myself sitting there feeling like, oh my God, there are people out there doing some amazing stuff right now, and really, what are you contributing? It's not a very comfortable feeling to have, that sense of inadequacy. And it's even closer to home than that, because my younger brother works for the NHS. He's been doing some amazing stuff, but he just told me last week that he's been asked to get involved, take up a role where he's going to be involved in setting up Nightingale hospitals, which is just incredible. And I am so super proud of him. And again, there's a little bit of inadequacy, because I'm thinking, well, what, he's doing all of that, what am I actually contributing? Now, this isn't COVID specific. The context, actually, I've experienced this situation many times before, and I know many of my clients do. So last night when I was sitting on the sofa, forget the context, but the experience I've had before, which was my self-critic was there, okay, so kind of somewhere over here, and I know my self-critic pretty well now. And I know at one point it's like I turned to my self-critic, and she's got quite a stare on her. She can really stare right into me, and she's got a really harsh tone of voice. And I kind of turned and looked at her, and she's like, really, what are you actually contributing to this situation? And I've heard her say that many times before. Now, I don't know if you can relate to this. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But our self-critic, I've learned through the years, has a role to play. It's positive. It has a positive intention. So my self-critic is there to spur me on to do my best work. My self-critic kind of sometimes gives me a prod to make sure that I'm stepping up and I'm stepping into doing what I can really do to contribute in my work and in my life. But I know for some people, their self-critic is to stop them getting too big for their own boots. It's to kind of rein them in a little bit. For some people, their self-critic is keeping them safe and stopping them taking risks. Your self-critic will have a role to play. It's trying to do good by you, but it doesn't always get its timing right, and it's usually pretty harsh in its message. And if at the moment your self-critic is talking a little bit too much, it's getting a wee bit too chatty, and it's making you feel bad, the thing that I want to share with you is that it's one perspective. It is one perspective on you and on your situation. And it's helpful to hear it. It's helpful to know that it's there, but you don't have to pay attention to it. You don't have to let it dictate or rule or create your experience for you. So I woke up this morning and said, okay, I'm not going to let that story play out this week, because that's not helpful, to feel like I'm inadequate, to feel like I'm not doing anything. And what really came to me this morning was a beautiful quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, and she says, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So I don't consent to letting myself feel inferior or inadequate. And I really want to encourage you, whatever it is you are doing today and this week, whether you're on the front line in some way, shape or form, whether you're balancing a job with homeschooling your kids, with caring for maybe neighbours or family members, whether you're at home and you're doing whatever you're doing today, whatever you're doing, you are contributing. You're contributing if you don't let that self-critic influence your thinking today. You will be contributing if you say to yourself, I am stepping up and stepping into doing whatever I need to do with my best self. So just let that self-critic just quieten down a little bit and go, I don't need you right now, but thank you. Just one perspective. So you're not inadequate, you're contributing as much as anybody else is. So have a good day and have a good week.